It's 19 hours GMT. Good evening and welcome to News 360 from the News Hub here in Accra. I am Isa Moni.
And I'm Natalie Ford to look at our top stories this evening.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by...
Residents of Asin Bosamatre in the Central Region access healthcare only twice a month. We'll tell you why. Also ahead this evening, Swedro Salvation School in the Agona West municipality to get new classroom facility following TV3 news reports on the poor state of the old building last year.
And Anakwikudia takes on an adventure to the Mole National Park. Will bring you more details.
And on mission tonight, Wa East District Assembly battling with enrolling and keeping pupils in school because children attend funerals at night, sometimes for 3 continuous days.
And entertainment news tonight, family of dancehall artist Ebony Rains set March 17 as date for her funeral.
And on the international front this evening, 66 people feared to have been killed in passenger plane crash in the Zagros Mountains in Iran. We've got the details of these stories for you here on News 360, including news from the world of sports this evening. You're streaming live on 3news.com and TV3 Ghana on Facebook. Let's get started with our very first story this evening. As residents of Asin Bosamatre, a farming community in the Asin South District of the Central Region, have only 2 special days in a month to access healthcare. This is because the only community-based health planning services is open to the public only 2 times in a month. Here's a report by Ajwa Adobia Owusu.
Asin Bosamatre is a small community with a population of about 5,000. A CHIPS compound established about 5 years ago to promote healthcare in the community was abandoned until recently when health workers from an adjoining community, Asin Kumasi, began visiting the facility twice in a month to attend to patients. Kweku Awatre reveals during emergencies, a bush path to the nearest health center, which is about 3 miles away, as their only option. And even this is dangerous as they sometimes encounter wild animals.
So mobile cramps I do best as 1 maintain the more yan or my sandy abide in a credit or can you change it? They do Ubecha Contumpo. But send a honey was my any I think my city, it you will quabi the hand. So Mumma Hanuma, you to me 90 corn. Maybe was a duopen between Ako, Panti and Kumasi.
A health worker stationed at Asin Kumasi, who spoke to the news team off camera, confirmed they report to the facility once in a while to attend to patients and provide them with the necessary drugs. According to him, the facility has not officially begun operations, even though it has been in existence for the past 5 years. The facility is gradually deteriorating as parts of the windows are falling off and the place engulfed in filth. The residents are calling for urgent intervention from governments so the CHIPS compound functions properly for the community to receive quality health care. CHIPS compounds in Ghana, which was to develop the ties between Japan and Ghana, was specifically introduced to promote maternal health care and to increase access to reproductive health. But until there is a quick intervention, this will continue to be a mirage for the people of Asin Bosamatre.
And still in the Central Region, a new 6-unit classroom block is being constructed for the Agona Swedro Salvation School in the Agona West municipality to replace the old block. This follows news reports by TV3 last year exposing the poor state of the old building. Lucy Ayamla has been following the developments.
Established in 1938, the Agona Swedro Salvation School B has been in a sorry state. Pupils studied in fear due to its poor state. Upon series of news reports by TV3 last year, we were told officials from the Bureau of National Investigation (BNI) visited the school, after which the pupils were relocated to the PWD yard to prevent a disaster. Currently, a new 6-unit classroom block is under construction to replace the old and dilapidated block. The project is being funded from an OPEC fund at a cost of 424,000 Ghana cedis and is expected to be completed in 3 months' time. At the sword-cutting ceremony, the headmaster of the school, George Ado, commended TV3 for the reportage. The municipal chief executive for the Agona West, Justina Marigold Assan, said the assembly will mobilize the needed resources to support the project.
Still on education, as teachers and pupils of the Futo MA Basic School in Cape Coast are appealing for urgent intervention from governments to avert a looming disaster in the school. The school building is in a deplorable state, with parts of the structure on the verge of collapse.
The Futo MA Basic School, established in 1954, is located in Futo, a community along the Cape Coast Jokwa stretch. The school, which aims at developing the talents of pupils to meet the developmental needs of society and the nation as a whole, has several awards to its credit in spite of its challenges. These include being adjudged the overall national best in the 2017 Basic Education Certificate Examination and the national best HIV/AIDS alert in 2015. An uncompleted building which was to be used as a workshop has been converted into classrooms due to the growing number of the pupil population. The school authorities are uncertain of what the future holds for these children, as they fear the structure could collapse at any moment. The headmistress, who is also the 2007 best teacher for the Central Region, talks about the challenges they are grappling with. She says some engineers came to survey the school after a report was made to the Cape Coast Metropolitan Assembly, and that was the end.
The engineer came around that very day we reported the issue and surveyed the place. When we reported, they had already done the 2017 budget. The Metro Chief Executive told us, by all means, because of the nature of the problem, he would want to solve it, and so we would see the team and see how best it can be solved. Madam Evelyn Efuapenyin is therefore calling for an immediate intervention to avert any disaster in the near future.
Now to the Boku West District, where dry season farmers are counting their losses following the drying up of the Gul Dam. Vegetables are currently withering and farmers are compelled to harvest crops prematurely. Here is Ivati Boker's report.
Crops are withering and animals struggling to survive. Hopes and aspirations are dashed and farmers are highly indebted. With the cultivation of vegetables, the Go Irrigation Dam is a source of livelihood for many. However, the over 500-hectare capacity Go, which supported vibrant dry season crops, animal farming, fishing and others, has dried up. The farmers lamented the dam is silted up and can no longer sustain farming activities. With improved seeds, Gideon and Mbawini and many others are hoping to increase their yield, but are now counting losses. Their onions are withering with no water for growth. Some farmers have run out of patience and harvesting prematurely. The farmers say times are hard.
All sport, no water. So they should come and help us with the dam again.
Previously, I could harvest about 30 basins a week, but this time, not even 10 basins in a whole month. The worry is the bank loan I have to repay.
After losing their crops, farmers would have been looking up to survive on proceeds from the sale of their animals, but they are also fast losing them to the drought. They also cover long distances in search of water.
The animals are weak. 2 of my cows died, and I'm afraid of losing the others because of the distance they cover to find water.
They want government, as a matter of urgency, to desilt the dam under the flagship One District, One Dam policy and construct some more to save the situation.
Let's stay on agriculture this evening as farmers in Joaboso in the western region are complaining of high cost of agricultural inputs and production. According to them, high interest rates on loans and poor road networks are challenges affecting cocoa production.
Farming is a source of income for about 80% of residents in Joaboso district. But most of the cocoa farmers there live in abject poverty owing to the farmers' inability to access farm inputs and other services. The cost associated with hiring adult labor as well as purchasing fertilizers, farming equipment and pesticides places huge financial burden on the farmers and further diminishes the income gained from cocoa production. High cost in land preparation for cultivation also discourages women to stay in the cocoa farming business. The situation has compelled some women in the district to form a cooperative to enable them support themselves with loans. The men are usually supported with farming inputs. That is why we have decided to form the cooperative. Government should also help us. Chairperson of the group called on government to come out with interventions to encourage women in cocoa farming. Most of the women here take care of the children, yet we are not employed. We hope by forming this cooperative, things will change. A director at Cocoa Board, Dr. Emmanuel Clote, highlighted Cocoa Board's productivity enhancement program, which seeks to improve on cocoa production.
Currently, the average yield per hectare, national average yield per hectare, is about 450 kilograms. And from research, we realized that farmers could get over 2,000 kilos. That is over 40 bags from their farms. So government has put in place these productivity enhancement programs to enable farmers to get that much. And one of them is a pollination.
The Seshiyu also district cocoa officer, Nana Otutu Abebio V, appealed to women to improve on their savings culture to reinvest in their farming activities.
If the government is giving you free seedlings, free fungicides, free insecticides, and you're asked to buy the fertilizer, I don't think it should be a problem, because you produce the cocoa for yourself. When the money comes, you use it for yourself. So now the government is trying to beg the farmers to go in to buy the fertilizers.
And personnel at the Takoradi Port Health Unit are calling for a quick rehabilitation and re-equipping of the facility. For now, dilapidated structure has been abandoned as both port authorities and the Ghana Health Service expect each other to take charge. A report by Loveridge and Prechum Ocheri.
Located within the premises of the Takoradi Port, this structure was constructed in 1928, which serves as the Port Health Center, is yet to receive any rehabilitation. From the exterior to the interior, everything needs an uplift. This is the state of the ward where patients are detained. Dirty walls, broken taps and basins, among others. The personnel have to use other means to aid their activities. Though an international vaccination center, there is no refrigerator to store the vaccines. The center, apart from attending to personnel at the port and international vessel attendants, also provides curative services to the general public, but attendants say patronage is very low due to its dilapidated state. Solis Golomeka is a principal environmental health assistant at the Takoradi Port Health Unit.
This place is a vaccination center, international inoculation center, but we don't have a refrigerator over here. So the vaccines is always kept at the public health unit. So every Wednesday, that is the vaccination day, the nurse coming in has to come along with the vaccine before they start injecting the people over here. So it will be advisable if they can come to our aid by providing us a refrigerator.
Although the structure is a property of Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, information gathered indicates they expect the Ghana Health Services to maintain it, but the health service says it cannot invest in a private property, leaving the facility to its fate. Principal Environmental Health Officer for the unit, Jacob Waja, is worried about the poor state of the facility, which contradicts with their routine sensitization on hygiene. He says they are yet to receive any positive response after reports to the port authorities on their dire conditions.
Under the international health regulations, we are the first point of call when a vessel should bet in the port. Get in touch with the port authorities to rehabilitate the office for us for the past 10 years. There has not been any positive result from them. There was a time they told us that they are not responsible for our presence here, and that we should tell our mother ministry, which is the Ministry of Health. We wrote our directors, and they also told us that the edifice is for Gapoha. In case they use the money to refurbish here, they can come the next day and say they are relocating us. So for that part, they cannot waste their money.
Laveridge and Prochum Ochre reporting.
Now, some anonymous persons have accused the acting principal of the Psychiatric Nurses Training College at Ankerfall, Simon Dodgden, of embezzlement of funds and getting paid for scripts that he did not mark. Meanwhile, the Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Health, Robert Kujo, says his outfit is yet to be officially informed.
Speaking on Midday Live, one of the members of the group calling itself Citizens Vigilante of the Ankerfall Psychiatric Nursing Training College, who wanted to remain anonymous, said the acting principal, Simon Dodgden, took monies for papers he did not mark. He added the alleged corrupt act of the acting principal came to bear when tutors were supposed to go for their allowance.
The Dodgden did not partake in the marking. He gave his papers to other two new tutors and used 943 Ghana cedis to pay each of them. And again, he single-handedly again took 943 and again took 7,800. So he alone in his pocket has over 8,000 Ghana for no work done.
According to him, other issues of concern include conflict of interest and misapplication of scarce college resources. Meanwhile, the PRO of the Health Ministry, Robert Kujo, said the ministry hasn't received any official complaints in that regard. He was of the view, when the ministry is informed, action will be taken.
There were a few other allegations regarding misappropriation and misapplication of funds and using the scarce resources to do a whole lot of things. So I think it would be better for us to receive the letter and call them at meetings for them to explain all these issues that they have raised.
At the time of filing the story, TV3 News was still unable to reach the acting principal of the Psychiatric Nurses Training College, Simon Dodgden, via phone.
Now, the ongoing fight against street trading in Accra may fail unless the Accra Metropolitan Assembly changes its strategy. The traders are not only defying the orders, but also prepared to go any length to ensure they remain on the streets. Peter Kwada witnessed a fight between a hawker and a city guard in front of Cocoa Board head office in Accra and has filed the following reports.
It was bright mid-morning and the location was the Cocoa Board head office. This reporter had just alighted from a vehicle about to enter the Ajabin Magistrate Court premises when his attention was drawn to a commotion. A cursory look showed a member of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly Task Force and a street vendor in a fierce fight. Apparently, the trader had refused to leave the pavement when told to do so, hence the no street vendoring enforcers' attempt to seize her wares. The aggressive woman slapped the AMA task force member and continued to kick him. But the no street vendoring enforcer will no budge. This attracted passersby, most of whom were blaming the member of the task force for the brawl. Some of the street vendors came behind the reporter, urging him to focus on the task force members, suggesting he was wrong to insist on taking the woman's words. To confirm their claim, a number of AMA task force members were seen in free movement with the street vendors. This particular one got infuriated and attempted to snatch the video gadget from the reporter. The reporter continued to the striking force area where the vendors had taken over portions of the pavement. At the central MTTD area, where trading zones were deliberately marked, some traders now sell their wares beyond the markings. So we ask, can the ongoing fight to keep traders off the streets succeed with the same old formula?
Still live here on News 360. Let's take a look at what's still to come tonight. We do our takes on an adventure to the Mole National Park.
Also on mission, we will trek to the East District Assembly and bring you more details in the mission tonight. Stay with us.
And also ahead this evening in entertainment, family of dancehall artist Ebony Rains set March 17 as the date for her funeral. And on the foreign front this evening, 66 people feared to have been killed in passenger plane crash in the Zagros Mountains in Iran. We've got the details of these stories for you here on News 360. Stay with us. Welcome back to News 360. Time now for our mission segment, brought to you by Star Ghana with support from UK Aid, Dunedin and the European Union. On to our very first story for mission this evening. The East District Assembly is battling enrolling and keeping pupils in school because the children attend funerals at night, sometimes for 3 continuous days. They are therefore unable to go to school or end up dozing off during lessons. The practice, a traditional custom, is affecting school attendance and slowing down efforts at improving education. Bright Nana Amfo reports.
And what is what? Bad for you. Do you understand? Yes.
Any there's a funeral, they don't come to school the following day. Student absenteeism is always high. That place is going to be full of students and they are sleeping there overnight.
Teachers in Palahe are ready to teach, but classrooms are empty. Just a few are in school. Inadequate infrastructure is not the only reason. Enrollment at the junior high level is also low. 35 in Form 1, 13 in Form 2, and 11 in Form 3. As they progress, the numbers drop. Teenage pregnancy is high. Teachers have traced the problem to funerals held at night.
We are behind because this community is a lobby community. And then when we look at their culture, we will say that their culture is affecting us seriously. Any there's a funeral, they don't come to school the following day. Student absenteeism is always high. Because when they go for the funeral, and even we discussed at the PTA meeting, what a parent could tell us was that if the children don't go for the funeral, nobody will come for the parents' funeral.
The district has 3 ethnic groups: Sisala, Chakal, and Wala.
For the Sisala area, on the part of funeral performance, when an elderly person dies, they normally postpone the funeral for 3-4 months before they come to perform the funeral rites. And during that performance, it normally attracts many people from different angles within the area to attend. And children also have the opportunity to attend because their parents all normally move to the funeral grounds. And it takes 3 days. They will stay there up to 3 days.
This is the funeral during the day. The deceased was killed in an accident, and so the body has been buried in Kumasi. But he must be mourned. The old and young must all join. food is served, but even that is a danger. I am trying to observe one of the traditions here. When you attend a funeral here, you have to partake in what is shared here. I've gone through the funeral grounds, greeted several people through handshakes, and yet I'm supposed to take it. But first he has to put it in the pepper, and then he hands it over to me, and I'm supposed to eat it. But health officials here are warning that it's quite a dangerous thing because during the interactions, several people exchange handshakes and you could easily get infected by bacteria. They have warned them, and yet it is something they are struggling to get the people to understand. 8 p.m., the night funeral is on at Nyayiri. School kids are attending. They trek hours in the dark. We saw many on our way, and they have interesting reasons.
No, at 12 o'clock.
He's going to dance their local dance at the funeral ground, and then he'll be returning at 12 midnight, and then tomorrow he'll be able to go to school.
I mean, if you go to school tomorrow morning, is he not going to sleep in class?
School bill, you can take your class.
He said what?
He wouldn't sleep in class.
If he doesn't go to this funeral, what would happen?
Their colleagues will insult them of not going for funerals. So that's the reason why he's so going.
Dinah told me in Tree she's attending because her mother asked her to. She said though she's been told in school not to go out at night and study, her mother insists she has to go to the funeral because it is her uncle's funeral. I am
Mammy Pennyba.
Mammy Pennyba and a woo. So school. Na anajuya ukwe ye echina obetumi akosuku. Ye about 80 here tambe na obedru fia obeda obesori a obekosuku.
Ye kwa yenda.
Mokwe ye na monda. Na mokwe ye na mwanda na echina okosuku a okotena school dem a onda. Se wankwe ye na asembe ne besi. Adien na ye de beye o se wankwe ye na. Why no me bekasa o?
Mam.
O mami and obeka adien pa no mami beka se wankwe ye na.
O se ye me bra na wu ya manko.
Ntina che se ye bia ba ese wokọ.
Davi.
It was amazing at the funeral grounds at night. Well prepared, some are ready to spend the night. Others dozed off. In fact, kids left at the mercy of the weather and insects. And for many, this is a real excitement. Children, some 5 years, others 8, 10, 15 and 20, all school-going children here at night, and they will stay here for 3 days and nights, dancing, eating and sleeping. Teachers have asked parents to stop children from attending funerals at PTA meetings, but parents say this has not been discussed.
No teacher has ever informed us of this. If the teachers had told us, we would have always let the children not to come to the funeral. But no teacher has ever informed us that when the children go for a funeral, they don't either come to school or they sleep in class. So we, the parents, we are not aware of this information.
Teachers insist this has been done and parents are just being irresponsible.
This issue has been discussed severally. And there was even a year that we were discussing this, and then a parent told us that if the children don't go for the funeral, then nobody comes for their funeral too, because it's like something that they do for exchange.
So the battle rages on. Pushed further, the parents say attending funerals at night should not affect children at school. A former assembly member and a teacher told me of a harrowing experience trying to prevent children from attending funerals at night.
As an educated person among them, sometime I tried to stop this. And in the course of trying to stop it, I was threatened with a knife that I am only to teach the children and not to school them or to educate them the right thing to do. So, in fact, a lot of people supported what the threats they gave me. So I thought that if I'm trying to educate my own children or my own people and they are threatening my life, it's better I keep quiet.
Community elders, after persistent back and forth, agreed this is a danger to the children and must be stopped.
Unfortunately, most of the young girls get pregnant. Just last 2 weeks, I started on a case like that. 14 years or something like that, and she's pregnant. The funerals. For the funerals, we can never stop it because it happens in the night. They have to go in the night. If it's daytime, we can control it. But once it's in the night, the parents, we talk to the parents. But sometimes, you know, you look at where the place is. You see a home over here, about 300 meters, another home, about 400 meters, another home. So it's very difficult to control them in the night.
Local government authorities are at their wits' end in stopping this.
That's what they do. Now, I must say, or take this opportunity, then to advise or to also speak to parents to modify the culture in such a way that they perform the funeral during daytimes. And if it is a daytime, then you see that they will be able to control the children.
Though it is a culture of a people, some community leaders insist children must be protected at all costs.
My father is saying
that he's a PTA chairman, and he's saying that he kept his child in school. And so if the child is around this place by 8 o'clock, it is his duty to sack the child to go home and sleep.
And so the tussle will continue. Whose responsibility is it to ensure that these kids are asleep at this time and will be able to go to school? The PTA says it has been discussed, parents disagree. But the Wa East district has a huge problem. In fact, a large chunk of the population of the district is without formal education. And only 1% has tertiary education status. Whose job is it to this? If indeed education will get to a level, someone must act and act now. Brighton and Amfo, Nyayiri, Upper West.
Very revealing report there by Bright Nana Ampho. But let's stay on matters of education, as 3 months after officials of the Dafiama Buzie Isa district promised to put up a new building for the Kinkeli Primary School, the project has taken off. A new 3-unit classroom block will replace a dilapidated structure that endangers the lives of pupils and keeps many at home. Bright Nana Ampho returned from the Upper West region and filed the following report.
Yes. 9.
M.
M.
N.
N.
I. N.
N.
E.
Good. That is 9.
We heard about Kinkeli. We came first of all to see what the plight is. Then we put in our 2018 composite budget that we provide them with first time a 3-unit classroom block to start with.
This building houses over 400 pupils. The structures put up by the community many years ago from meager incomes are in a bad state. Pupils looked dirty after school. Attending school was therefore unattractive.
You are going to insert it in your man droji Iwa Bogara.
So many stayed away. The community was distressed. Their children's education was not assured. Children loitered about during school hours. The district assembly could not immediately step in due to inadequate funds. But in 2017, the assembly made a promise. The Kinkele community will soon receive a 3-unit classroom block. It will have an office, a storeroom and sanitary facilities at a cost of over 150,000 cedis. Kinkele's education will see improvement when completed.
The structure we are seeing now was actually the efforts of the community members, because they have a lot of kids who were not going to school. And where the nearest school is very far. The kids cannot work there. So the parents, on their own efforts, decided to put up this structure.
And more school children will be attracted to enroll and stay in school. The community is excited. Development has reached them and they are lending full support.
The new structure, it will help increase the enrollment of the school, because if you go to the house, there are people of school going who are still in the house because of the surrounding villages that are far from them. And based on that, they have to travel to different communities to attend upper primary and then JSS. But if your structure is full like the graduate, you have a full primary school here.
With no rains expected till May and all materials ready, the project is expected to be completed on time. Let me quickly speak to the one who's in charge of the project. He's been supervising the whole work that is being done. How is the project going in terms of the materials that you are getting? Water, soil, sand, and whatever you need for your work.
Yeah, we need sand, cement, iron rods, everything.
You know, all these materials, are you getting them on time that can help you to finish the project?
Yeah, we get anything. We get a zinc, nails, everything.
Everything is set for the project.
Yeah.
And so you're sure that in about 3-4 months' time, it will be completed?
Yeah, 4 months time we will completed.
What is the support that the community is giving to the work you're doing here?
Yeah, but sometimes the community bring water, food, many things.
For teachers, a new structure will decongest classrooms and improve teaching and learning.
Previously, what we have, it is not adequate, because even if you enter the classroom, the children are packed, and even and it's a lower primary at times, if you want them to exercise their bodies more so that you can continue teaching and learning becomes a problem. And even the board and then the nature in which they are seated affect teaching and learning.
Their burden is taken off, and this provides a new dawn. Kinkele is not stopping at getting a new classroom block. Most teachers stay away from the school. They therefore delay in reporting to school. A teacher's bungalow is being thought of.
The cost of having an illiterate society is more than having a literate society. And so educating the people of Kinkele is not for Kinkele alone, but the entirety of Ghana. And so you have been overwhelmed to see how happy the people were to note that for today they are handing over a site to contractor to construct a 3-unit classroom block for them. So they are extremely happy.
The District Assembly is pleased funds have been released for the project. Improving education is key to speeding up development. For the children, this is a dream come true. Some of them will see a new building for the first time in their lives. The Assembly has also awarded on contract procurement of 500 desks for schools. This is to take care of schools where pupils lie on their bellies to write. Again, circuit supervisors have been given motorbikes to enable them go round to supervise teachers.
The Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, God deliver us from evil. God down the kingdom, the born of glory, forever and ever. Amen.
3 months ago, people here did not really have a comfortable place to learn. On the promise of the District Chief Executive, a 3-unit classroom block is under construction. It has started. It might not be enough for them, but at least when it is completed, it will afford people here a convenient, comfortable place to stay. The promise is that the District Assembly will continue to improve infrastructure, to improve education in the Dafiama Busie Isa district. Bright Nananfo, TV3, Kinkili, Upper West Region.
Well, a gleam of hope there for the King Kelly Primary School. Stay on developments at this school and bring you more in subsequent bulletins. And that does it for our mission segment this evening, brought to you by Star Ghana with support from UK Aid, DANIDA and the European Union.
You're on News 360 and let's do one of our headline stories tonight. The unrivaled beauty, colorful and yet captivating presence of savanna buffaloes and elephants at Ghana's largest animal refuge, the Mole National Park, bestows a rich diversity of wildlife and ecotourism. Now, with some 94 mammal and 300 bird species in the Mole Park alone, the Animal Division of the Forestry Commission is poised to adopt new strategies to prevent extinction. Nana Kwekwedia has more.
Currently at the Mole National Park, Ghana's largest wildlife refuge, and we're going into the deep to find out exactly what we can see in terms of the animals here.
The Mole National Park, located in the northern region, covers some 4,577 square kilometers and is the largest savanna land range animal refuge in the country. With some 94 mammal and 300 bird species, the park offers to a first-time visitor some exciting panoramic views.
I understand about 600 of them are here in the park. Over the years, they've multiplied, just like other species around here. Do we still have all the animals here? And which of them varieties do we have? Which of the species do we have? And which of them are extinct?
It is a phenomenon, natural phenomenon, because whether we like it or not, animals will get extinct. But it's because of preventing that situation. That's why we have these parks. So yes, on the outside, we have some of them getting extinct, but in the parks, we still have a good population of animals.
With its history, flora and fauna, managers of the park say it remains one of the biggest revenue generators for the tourism sector.
Last year, 2017, we received about 20,000 tourists. And in fact, the good news is that about 30 of these visitors are Ghanaians, which means that local tourism is growing. In the past, some 5-10 years ago, we used to receive about 70% non-Ghanaians and 30% Ghanaians. I think the statistics have changed. More Ghanaians are now visiting our protected areas, which is a good sign. And most of these are the youth, which means that awareness, we are catching them young. The issue of environmental protection will go down and has a future.
At the end of the division's 3-day annual scheduled officers meeting at the Mole National Park at Damongo in the northern region, leadership resolved to adopt effective ways of dealing with conservation challenges in consonance with modern practice. The Wildlife Division of the Forestry Commission is optimistic with effective policies and support, it will deal with the issue of poaching and protect the country's animal species.
Wildlife is part of our heritage as a country. Every traditional area you go, they have some linkage with wildlife, and that is very important. The Wildlife Division is doing a very important job as far as maintaining the relationship between the people and wildlife is concerned. Secondly, wildlife is an indicator species. The presence or absence of wildlife in an area tells the quality of the environment in that area.
With enhanced working relations between the Forestry Commission and the Tourism Ministry, and with improved biodiversity, ecological and cultural conservation methods, the Mole Park will one day become a National Heritage Site recognized by the United Nations. Nana Kwekwedia, Mole National Park, Damongo.
And from Nana Kwekwedia, we go to Nana Edu Insia. He's the Executive Director of the Wildlife Division of the Forestry Commission, and he's going to speak to us by phone. And Nana, we understand that some of the animals are getting extinct, but let's look at the efforts you are making to promote the Mole National Park.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it is indeed right that we have some animals
approaching extinction. However, we are making very strong efforts to preserve most of these species. And that's why we have the protected areas dotted around the country in the various ecological zones. And for example, Molly National Park is a heaven for most of the species in the country, which are almost getting extinction, especially the savanna species. And then we have the forest areas, Kakum and Ankasa are also trying to hold a refuge for most of the forest species. So, in the other sub-ecosystems, we have parks also to contain the rest of the animals. And not only for Ghanaian species, we also take care of external species who migrate during the winter from European countries to Ghana.
All right, thank you very much. Nana Edu Insian, that's the Executive Director of the Wildlife Division of the Forestry Commission. Looking for, well, opportunity to go then probably touch a live animal, maybe a lion or probably an elephant.
That would be quite an experience as you preserve the lives of our animals.
Right, News 360 will return shortly.
Now, veteran highlife musician Irama Bade has been laid to rest in Kumasi. The celebrated singer, who died at the age of 72, has been described as a pillar in highlife music by her colleagues in the music industry.
Irama Bade made her way to the top when the music industry was largely dominated by males. The gifted high-life musician was known for her great stage performance and hit songs such as Kom Kom, Medofwa Dadame, and Obatime Refrenema. Noted for her inspiring and educative songs, Irama Bade received several honorary awards. The legendary musician, who died at the Fijase in the Ashanti region after a short illness, was finally laid to rest Saturday. Members of Musica, led by their president, Vice Osei Kufuor, joined in paying their last respect to the late Irama Bade at the Cultural Center. Vice Osei Kufuor, popularly known as Obuo, described the death of the high-life musician as a great loss to the music industry.
Right, more entertainment news. The burial and funeral rites of sensational dancehall songstress Ebony Rains will take place on March 17. And I'm sure today some kind of gathering 1 week observation of her death was held in Accra.
Very key. If we say it told me 2003, me head on collision and Kamiu, Yame and a Yima Fufie, a bit too terrible Chaka, oh yeah, a bit too Kwame Uswansa, a bit too Susie Williams, a bit too Vibrant Fire, a bit about 2 Miami Ebony. Dabenda a betnas and a Yankasa, a Bria Dusi a Becasa. Yeah, back near the Mra, a private members bill, about parliament. Say, oh my engines, said the Abaya, law require all regional capitals. Said the Abaya, law require MP bill. Said the Abaya, you bet Kai, ya this year, on my 3 or more. After law require, you 2 Sanamoy, Namin Sanamoy, or my Ghana, Mobadia so. They are sure.
Right, you're on News 360. It's such a huge loss to the nation, and that's Ebony Rains. I mean, I'm not sure in the next 10 years we'll be able to get a talent like that straight into the music scene. I'm joined by Osu Warai, and Warai, you were at the 1 week celebration. So tell us, what happened there?
Right, so basically, is somebody who was able to, within a short time, catapult herself to the top.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it was very impressive seeing a lot of people coming, showing up to Dansuman St. Martin's the Porridge School to show her love. And we went there in the morning, and just around 10 a.m. the place was packed. Almost everybody you saw was in red or black, and they tell the state we are in. We are mourning one of the greatest talent Ghana has produced in the past 2-3 years, Ebony Rains, and it was a fine opportunity to communicate what the industry intends doing within the next month. The president of musicians in Ghana, Obo, we heard him there talking about the fact that they're going to use this as a clarion call to engage the various stakeholders and talk about the fact that we need to make our roads safer to travel on. And so that was one of the conversations that we had at the 1 week gathering. And then again, we also spoke to Bullet, who happens to be Ebony's manager. And the discussion was about immortalizing Ebony's memories, what she stood for, what she was able to do within that short life she led. And he's saying that before Ebony passed on, they recorded a lot of songs. And so maybe the next week, the next 2 weeks, we're going to be hearing a lot of those songs. So the second album is going to come. So we will listen to them, and the more we listen to her songs, the more...
I hear that she was even billed for a movie that didn't come up, and she's gone. So I don't really know. Nobody said anything about that, right? About
the conversation was about the fact that Ebony was a promising talent, and that she was going to eventually become one of the greatest music exports that Ghana will ever produce, and certainly it's a very big blow.
Yeah, I know Usura, you still have a lot to tell us.
And it's coming on the back of the demise of Irama Bade. Yesterday she was buried, and then today another impressive talent, Ebony Rains.
Absolutely, and I'm sure our condolences to PK of the Bank of Ghana. That's his mother is Irama Bade. We're not able to attend, but I'm sure our thoughts are with the family. And right now you're watching News 360. We'll still talk to Usura some more, and there'll be more details about Ebony Rains' funeral and subsequent news bulletins. Up now is some international news.
66 people are feared dead to have been killed in a passenger plane crash in the Zagros Mountains in Iran. The Siman Airlines plane, en route from Tehran to the southwestern city of Yazouj, came down near the city of Samiram in Isfahan province. The Red Crescent deployed search and rescue teams to the site. The airline initially said everyone had been killed, but said later, given the special circumstances of the region, they still have no access to the spot of the crash, and therefore they cannot accurately and definitely confirm the death for passengers of this plane. Zimbabwe's president has called on all citizens to unite to mourn opposition leader Morgan Tsvangirai, who died of colon cancer last week. Memorial service for Tsvangirai was held in a packed church in the capital Harare, while outside hundreds of supporters of his movement for democratic change gathered. Tsvangirai died in hospital in South Africa on February 15 at the age of 65. He will be buried in his home village of Buhira on Tuesday.
Well, so much for funerals on News 360 tonight.
True.
Morgan Tsvangirai to Irama Bade and Ebony Rains, and well, so I'm sure we still have some more time to talk about that in other news bulletins. Thank you for watching News 360 tonight by Lisa Morning.
And I'm Natalie Force. We've got more news on our website, 3news.com. News at 10 will simulcast on our sister station, 3FM 92.7. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your evening.